Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn a new topic, moral dilemma, from the Unit 1 Engineering Ethics. Let us understand what is exactly moral dilemma. At times, the situations occur where one cannot make immediate decision as the moral reason come into conflict. The moral reasons could be rights, duties, goods, or obligations, which make the decision making complex. So, dilemma in the sense you cannot decide it immediately over a period of overnight. You need to take some kind of patience, a lot of thinking process. Then only you can decide which is right, which is wrong. So you cannot take the decision immediately. So if all of a sudden if we take a decision, it will affect your moral values, ethical values that may come into conflict. So the complexity here is to be understood. So there are different types of complexities we may come across. One of the complexity is vagueness. This refers to the condition where the doubt lies in whether the action refers to good or bad. This is just like having a thought that following the rules is mandatory. So this is a very doubtful approach. The second complexity is conflicting reasons. When you know about the solutions you have, the making of better choice among the ones you have will be the internal conflict. Fixing the priorities depends upon the knowledge on the moral values. So in this case of complexity, priorities are giving a kind of confusion to decide which has to come, which has to uh, come in first, which has to come in second, or which can be ignored. So again, it's a kind of conflicting reason complexity. And in the third case of disagreement complexity, when there are two or more solutions and none of them is mandatory, the final solution selected should be the best suitable under existing and the most probable conditions. So the interpretation regarding the moral reasons behind the choice and analysis. So in disagreement, it is very difficult to come to a conclusion which is right or wrong. So there are certain steps to be followed in facing moral dilemmas. So whenever a person is faced with a moral dilemma, the issue is to be solved with a stepwise approach, as this will generate a better output. So the steps are identification, ranking, enquiries, and followed by the discussions, then coming to the final solution. So what is moral autonomy? So it's an ability to relate the problems with the problems of law, economics, and religious principles. An autonomy is also understood as skill to process, clarify, understand the arguments against the moral issues. It is also an ability to suggest the solutions to moral issues on the basis of facts. It must have the imaginative skill to view the problems from all the viewpoints, in all aspects. So the tolerance while giving moral judgment which may cause a trouble. So here the conclusion, what the moral autonomy is giving, the solution. Of course, the moral autonomy reflects the concept of individuality. This relates to the idea of building oneself with the moral values and one has while developing psychologically. So, to have moral autonomy in all the aspects, one should have a lot of patience and interest. So, without this patience and interest, the autonomy may not be fruitful solutions to the moral issues. So, also, a person must have adequate knowledge and understanding about the use of ethical language so as to defend or support his views with others. So the person is expected to be very knowledgeable so that the person can easily understand others' ethical language and communication. So that is the second thing to be noted. Above all, one must understand the importance of maintaining moral honesty and should be liberal to understand the human behavior under certain circumstances. So honesty is the best policy is always remembered. So the moral honesty is expected to be maintained so that the human behavior can easily be understood in every various situations and circumstances. Thank you, students. Let us see in the next class.